Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And well, today I was going to talk about guns and the need for some sort of change to gun laws, because in the last week, we had 18 people killed with high-capacity weapons that were bought within that same week, and the one in Georgia was purchased the same day. Jesus Christ, even Amazon takes a day to get me toilet paper. But you can get an AR-15 today. Make sure when you come in, you're really pissed, though.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Angry white men and guns. All day, Sunday. After church, come get some guns. After watching sports all day, come get your guns. Wife giving you back talk, get your guns. Guns, guns, guns. Angry white guys. Gun Emporium. No ID or mask required. America.
Now, because this podcast has talked about guns and the senseless deaths of Americans and has proven over and over and over that gun laws work worldwide, guns aren't cars or knives, the AR-15 was designed as a weapon of war. Good guy with the gun is an incel bullshit jerk-off fantasy, and the NRA is full of craven liars who used members' donation money to pay for private jets, and then they spent a lot of it trying to polish this turd. When it comes to guns, I think we here at the Armageddon Update have covered it. So instead of going over that again for the 230th time, let's talk about a real president. Today was Joe Biden's first press conference, and he came apart like a bird flying into a windmill. I mean, Biden stumbled and bumbled through that press conference as if he was drunk on tequila and heroin. Here's a sample.
No leader can be sustained in his position or her position unless they represent the values of the country.
You know, after the last 4 years of having a man who said we should nuke hurricanes, inject disinfectant, and that windmills cause cancer?
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer.
To have this guy Biden, a man who not only knows the facts and the stats, but at one point was giving so much information that he had to stop himself.
So we're building back up the capacity that should have been maintained and built upon, that Trump dismantled. And the other thing we're doing, I might add, am I giving you too long an answer? Because if you don't want the detail, maybe I'll stop there.
He was like, yeah, sorry, I got so much information in my skull as the president that I can see you fading away, kind of like in the Matrix.
5,000 beds. So we're building back
For example,
up
I
the
use all
capacity.
the resources
And the
available.
other thing we're doing, I might add.
Sorry, I'm not talking about emails or using a Sharpie to lie about the weather or lying about my taxes, but you know what? I can't, because I got a country to fucking dig out again. My favorite part was when Caitlin Collins asked him about the 2024 election. It was as if Jeff Dunham's Walter had been elected as the most powerful man in the world, and he was bringing it. Get off my lawn style.
I'm a great respecter of fate. I've never been able to plan 3.5 years ahead for certain.
And if you do run, will Vice President Harris be on your ticket?
I would fully expect that to be the case. She's doing a great job.
And to all of you who claim that Joe Biden has dementia or is fading, let me clear it up. He popped off so many statistics today and had so many clear, concise, truthful, and factual statements that it made me think, oh my God, I can start listening to music again. Because shit, for 4 years, I paid Apple Music, but I couldn't have turned away from the dumpster fire apocalypse that Sweet Potato Hitler and the cluster Trump administration trotted out on a daily basis. But today, we got reminded what it was like to have a president, a man who gives a flying rat's ass about this country and the people in it. So whether you voted for him or not, I want you to watch this.
Regarding the filibuster, at John Lewis's funeral, President Barack Obama said he believed the filibuster was a relic of the Jim Crow era. Do you agree?
Yes.
If not, why not abolish it if it's a relic of the Jim Crow era?
Successful electoral politics is the art of the possible. Let's figure out how we can get this done and move in the direction of significantly changing the abuse of even the filibuster rule first. It's been abused from the time it came into being by an extreme way in the last 20 years. Let's deal with the abuse first.
He riffed that. It's like an improv group decided it was going to be boring as hell. Like all improv groups. Greg Proops aside, because he's a genius. Exception proves the rule. So, to those of you that continue to think that Joe Biden is addled or has Alzheimer's or can't think straight, I give you this.
Did you move too quickly to roll back some of the executive orders of your predecessor?
First of all the policies that are underway were not helping at all. Did not slow up the amount of immigration and as many people coming. And rolling back the policies of separating children from their mothers, I make no apology for that. Rolling back the policies of remain in Mexico, sitting on the edge of the Rio Grande in a muddy circumstance with not enough to eat, I make no apologies for that. I make no apologies for ending programs that did not exist before Trump became president, that have an incredibly negative impact on the law, international law, as well as on human dignity. And so I make no apologies for that.
And then I give you this.
Are you worried that if you don't manage to pass voting rights legislation, that your party is going to lose seats and possibly lose control of the House and the Senate in 2022?
What I'm worried about is how un-American this whole initiative is. It's sick. It's sick. Deciding in some states that you cannot bring water to people standing in line, waiting to vote. Deciding that you're going to end voting at 5 o'clock when working people are just getting off work. Deciding that there will be no absentee ballots under the most rigid circumstances. It's all designed, and I'm going to spend my time doing three things. One, trying to figure out how to pass the legislation passed by the House, number one. Number two, educating the American public. The Republican voters I know find this despicable. Republican voters.
And if you still don't think that Joe Biden is your president, then please, I want you to stand firm on that. And don't cash that COVID relief check. Instead, send it to this guy. He's going to need it to pay for lawyers. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And the fucker did it with a stutter.
We will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots in people's arms.
Wouldn't want me.
What special is that I did?
Love is evil. You wouldn't want me.
You wouldn't want me now anyway.
So I went to Fox to see, because I was looking up what people are saying about the Biden press conference.
So let's we've talked. I did part of the Armageddon Update about guns, just the beginning, to point out that we have done 230 episodes of the show about guns.
Oh, really?
And so I just blew through it and just said, we're not doing it again. We've done it. Then I went to Biden's press conference.
Well, also, maybe you missed all of the human contact that you always get when you talk about guns.
It's true. I do get a lot of love.
So
whenever I do an Armageddon Update, I get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
It's really, it is, and I'm needy. And so I really like it.
Yeah. So they go, those videos go viral.
Yeah. Well, my nickname is Fuck You Asshole. And
Eat a Dick and Die.
Eat a Dick and Die. That's another popular nickname.
Those are usually, they misspell that sentence in the subject line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whenever he talks about guns on social media or in a special, these are like the whole email list is that.
And the thing is that because of that, I've sharpened my blade so much when it comes to facts about it that Eat a Dick and Die is pretty much their final argument. That's I've destroyed. They're not like cars. Oh, if they are like cars, how about we legislate them like cars? How about that? Right. You have to have insurance. You actually have to have it registered. There has to be a national registry, like a VIN number, a GIN number, a gun identification number. You have to get tested. You have to train for 40 hours. And they're like, fucking shut up, dude. You eat a dick and die.
Just the fact that Ted Cruz had to say every time there's a mass shooting, he actually said that with a straight face. What did he say? You do this ridiculous theater again.
That isn't going to do anything to stop it.
And the fact that you just said every time there's a mass shooting. And
that's what I said. I tweeted it. I gave you credit for it when I tweeted it out. I said, my wife just said, every time there's a mass shooting. There is no other country in the world where that sentence is an okay sentence. Every time a bunch of people get their heads blown off, people get all wonky. What I loved about him was I didn't see one time where he thought through his answer to how's this going to look. Sometimes he went off. At one point, Ray, he goes like this. He starts talking about immigration. It was a big issue, or infrastructure or something. And he keeps going and he goes like this. You see, they've told him, dude, you talk so much. What Obama said about Biden was, I want to hear your opinion, but can you keep it under 15 minutes? Because he talks and he starts going, so here's how it's going to go. Boom, 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 boom. And he starts breaking down the whole thing, and he finally just goes, do you have the quote where he says it?
I did, but I just looked up Breitbart while you were talking.
Where he just goes, you know what? I'm giving you too much information. You don't want all this information, do you? He was a president that actually had too much information, to the point where Caitlin Collins had all her questions answered and had to go, are you going to run in 2024? That's all I got.
You're right. You have all the answers except for that one.
Breitbart. Joe Goes Slow is the lead title of the story.
Wow.
Frail Biden, first press conference as president. School closures ignored. What? Biden speaks for Republicans, says he's uniting country, then says GOP worse than Jim Crow. Evades on deportations in China, which he didn't. He was extremely direct about China as well.
And China.
Biden trolls don't know if there will be a Republican Party in 2024. These are all different news stories back to back about him.
He did not say the GOP was worse than Jim Crow. He said the filibuster. Do you agree with Obama that it's
Jim Crow look like
era?
Jim Eagle? Yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about this? Here's my downside. Biden can't tell a joke to save his life. Cannot tell a joke. Although, and it's weird. As a comic, I caught him. I caught all three of them. But he blew them. He goes, when the filibuster was done, when I first came in 120 years ago, but he didn't say it like a joke, so it didn't come across like a joke. Then he goes, Jim Crow makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle. And then I just saw this. I saw this in his head. No? Nothing?
And here's comments from people underneath on Breitbart. Biden looking down at the podium and reading, all caps, the answer to the first question from the AP. It's pre-planned answers to questions known in advance. Then someone says he's repeating answers his staff is giving in his earpiece. He is an empty suit, life-size puppet. Then someone links a news story. Biden gives no credit to Trump, just blame. United States, a sanctuary country now. Unstoppable tsunami coming. PSU NAMI. That's the lead. That's a news.
PSU?
Capital.
Wow.
I just understood what you're...
I want to read you something. I'm going to read I tweeted out.
I know there's a silent letter in there somewhere.
That's a pseudonym.
But it's not fair because it's silent. So how could I remember?
Wow. Your puns, dude. There's no one even playing your game. Pseudonym? Wow.
He is the pun master for sure.
Man. I'm gonna keep going. I want to read you what he said, because he riffed this. Caitlin Collins asked a question about the filibuster, and he answered this, and it's insane what he said. He riffed this. Now, after the last 4 or 5 years of the last guy, you have to say that anybody that can speak English. That, by the way, they're just mad that he can read.
Right. That's also called preparation.
What's he doing with the reading?
I don't understand at all, but.
I would have loved to see Trump have prepared answers instead of just winging it and making up shit off the top of his head
and rambling and then attacking everyone in government and calling them, as I call them, Shifty Schiff. I call her Nervous Nancy.
Yeah, that's what I call her. You know what I call her? No one gives a shit. Do your job.
Sleepy Joe.
So she asked him about the filibuster. Do you want to get rid of the filibuster? This is what he riffed. He didn't look down. He looked straight ahead and he said this. This is what this is how our new president talks. Successful electoral politics is the art of the possible. Let's figure out how we can get this done and move in the direction of significantly changing the abuse of even the filibuster rule first. It's been abused since it became into being. Like that, it's like you just go, dun, dun, bam. It was clear. Hey, filibuster's a bunch of assholes. He didn't like